But that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about the trans, the way the trans being accepted now. It wasn't accepted this way before, right? You just said it
I
wasn't
don't
accepted.
I don't think they're being accepted. I think they were accepted before, and now they're no longer accepted.
Accepted
I
when?
don't remember. I don't remember anyone having any trouble with trans. They've been around forever, just as long as we have. I haven't seen anybody complain about trans people up until 2018, when all of a sudden there's this
Are
huge.
you are you familiar with Sodom and Gomorrah?
I'm familiar with the story. Yeah,
Yeah. You know, it's a real place, right? Those are real places, right? Are you saying that make
I
believe?
mean that's debatable, but they're
Is
based
it?
off of real areas.
So
Yeah, yeah.
so
There's
but
there's
it's they're real areas, right?
that it's a story in the Bible. They can't confirm where Sodom and Gomorrah is, but they do have an idea that it was in a certain area in the Middle East. They can't
Right.
pinpoint,
So
but
is Israel a real place or no?
Israel is a country that we have designated.
What about
Yes,
Egypt?
Egypt is a country we have designated. Yeah,
What
it has
about
borders.
Ethiopia?
Same, has borders, has a government.
Right. So
It's been
all these are in the
designated.
Bible. So those are real places, right?
Well, not because they're in the Bible. They're real places because we can see them. We can go to them. There's a history written about them. Sodom and Gomorrah doesn't really have a history telling us where that's located.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah, Sodom and Gomorrah. I mean, we have a good idea of the general idea of where that would be, but there isn't
Mm-hmm.
like it's this location, this latitude and longitude. We don't have that.
Interesting. Interesting. What happened in Sodom and Gomorrah?
Sodom and Gomorrah was turned to salt because they refused to let the men rape the women.
What happened in Sodom and Gomorrah?
They, they were
What
it
did
was
God say?
destroyed. He destroyed it. He said,
What did God say?
I don't remember the quote, but I know he destroyed it.
Okay, but why did he destroy it though? What did he say?
He destroyed it because the men were raping other men to dominate them.
Mm-hmm.
And he found that to be wrong. It wasn't because
Mm-hmm.
they were gay, it's because they were using rape as a tool.
No, it's because they were. It was men sleeping with men. That's why it was. And not only that, but
So you think
you had
so
men
by
with
that logic,
men. You had
so is
women
he
with
fine with
women.
the rape?
You had men want to be women. Women want to be men. You had all kind of stuff going on. And as a result, he told them to stop living out these
Right.
lifestyles.
And
They
this is your
refused,
religion.
and so it got wiped out.
I respect that you believe this wholeheartedly. This is your religion. But just put yourself into the perspective, what if Muslims were the majority and we were trying to make the country a Muslim country? Like you can believe what you want, but the minute you tell other people they have to believe that, that's against the Constitution in my view.
I didn't tell them they had to believe that they had to be a Christian. I just said be a male that you were born as. That's not being a religion.
Right, but I mean, Native American
You're
religion.
convoluting two different things.
I could argue Native American religions had plenty of transgender people in them, known as deities. They were considered holier for some reason,
And
whatever reason they decided, that was just part of Native American culture. Now, if that culture became the nationwide culture, then transgender people would be forced on you. I don't think that should happen either. I think you're allowed to believe what you want to believe, but the minute you try to take rights that are granted from the government because it's not in the Bible, that's not the government's job to be the Bible. That's your churches. That's why we have free will. That's why you'll be judged separately from them. Like, it doesn't matter what they're doing to your life. You are
well,
still
we don't have free will. That's not a thing.
okay. Well, either way, it doesn't affect you. If you believe that what you're doing will get you into heaven, you're going to heaven regardless of someone being transgender. And telling the government to tell anyone what to do is just not what America is. Now, if you want to talk about is that the right thing to do as a Christian, you have a good argument that is very much not what Christianity preaches. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about
Yeah,
the federal government.
and what's crazy is it's not even Christianity because there's many religions that say the same thing.
Right. There's a ton of religions.
But for some reason we get like just
Well,
ostracized
Muslims
about it.
believe that.
I know,
Jews
right?
believe that, but Native
But
Americans
no,
don't.
but people
Buddhists
don't want to
don't.
tell the Muslims that though. They don't want to tell the Muslims you can't believe that. But if Christians, they'll tell us you can't believe that.
I mean, Muslims can believe whatever they want, just like Christians can. You just can't tell
Not
other
we can't
people
do that because
to live by that.
we get told that we're bigots. They don't call Muslims that.
Yeah, they do. If they're being bigoted, they absolutely. I will call a Muslim
Name
bigot
me
if they're being bigoted.
name me any celebrity. Name me a politician that came out and said that called Muslims bigots.
They called Muslims big. A lot of people called Dave
Yeah,
Chappelle a bigot after his jokes, and he's Muslim.
I'm talking about. No, I'm not talking about the Nation of Islam people. I'm talking about real Muslims.
I mean,
Yeah,
I see a lot of people call
name
them
me somebody.
bigoted.
I
Saudi
I'll wait.
Arabia,
Look it up right now. Look it up right now.
you called
I want
Saudi
you.
Arabia misogynist.
I want you to give me a celebrity or a politician that has openly said Muslims are bigots like they do with Christians.
They
I'll
don't do
wait.
it with Christians. They
They
don't. It's
do.
not. It's not
Yes, they
Christians.
do. Yes, they do. They do it on the news every
There's
day.
nothing to do with being Christian that they're calling you a bigot. That's not part of Christian. Jesus told you to love everybody, right? Like they're all God's children. Judge lest you be judged. Judge not lest you be judged.
No, no,
This
man,
is Jesus's
you
word.
gotta read that. You gotta read that Bible more, man.
Those are Jesus's words. Now we could go into the Old Testament and find things that back up what you're saying, but Jesus
It's in the New Testament too, buddy. It's in the New Testament too, man. Men shouldn't sleep
do
with
not
men.
throw a stone.
Women with women. No trend. Like it's all the same. The New Testament,
There's
Old Testament
no
is the
mention
same
of
thing.
transgender
It's just different books. It's the same
There
book
is
though. It's like
absolutely no mention of transgender in the Bible. There are one mention of a man shall not sleep with another man as he does a woman that was mistranslated from a man shall not sleep with a child as he does a woman, which makes a very big difference when you get the
not
correct
really,
translation.
because if a man sleep with a man, he'll sleep with anything.
I mean, I would argue I would have a much bigger problem with a man sleeping with a child over a man sleeping with another man.
I have an issue with both of them because they're both hideous and repulsive and
It
disgusting.
might be repulsive to you, but one of them is a crime, and one of them is hurting someone that cannot make that decision.
They're both a crime because there's a reason why HIV is so prominent in gay people, gay men.
Because blood and feces can mix to create that.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea, huh?
Well, I mean, a lot of straight guys like anal too.
Amazing.